Hi, second grade. It's Miss Frannis, and we're going to be talking about Alice the Fairy today, and that's the book we're going to be reading. It was written and illustrated by David Shannon, and we're going to be talking about fiction stories, and we're going to be talking about where the stories take place, and you're going to be doing an activity about that, so pay close attention. The two things you want to pay attention to is where does the story take place and when does the story take place. So think about those two questions as I'm reading the book, because you're going to want to remember that at the very end. So David Shannon might sound familiar. He is very famous for writing No David, and I'm sure you've all heard of that book. And he also wrote Alice the Fairy. My name is Alice. I'm a fairy. I'm not a permanent fairy. I'm a temporary fairy. You have to pass a lot of tests to be a permanent fairy. I have wings so I can fly. I can't fly very high yet, but I can fly really fast. This is my magic wand. This is my blanket. Fairies use magic wands to change frogs into princes and things like that. I changed my dad into a horse. One time, my mom made cookies for my dad, so I turned them into mine. I felt bad about the cookies, so I thought I'd whip up a new outfit for my dad. Did I tell you he's the Duke of Morningside Drive? Well, he is. He has golden sparkly pants, a plaid velvet shirt, purplish pink shoes, my favorite color. But clothes were too hard, so I made him a new crown instead. With my magic wand, I can make leaves fall from trees, and I can draw pictures on water. Sometimes I use my wand to disappear, but that's kind of scary. I'd rather use my blanket. Of course, I also have a magic mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Well, what do you know? It's me, Alice. Thank you, mirror. Fairy dust is very useful. I use it to turn oatmeal into cake. Casting spells is another important part of being a fairy. Watch me make my dog float onto the ceiling. Hocus pocus, croakin' docus, hawkin', talkin', friggin', flockin'. Doggin', floggin', biddin', noggin'. Okay, maybe that one needs a little work. But a fairy must be very careful with magic. Once I accidentally turned my white dress into a red one. That made the Duchess so mad, she locked me in the tower forever. I got away though. A fairy's life is filled with danger. Broccoli is often poisoned by the wicked Duchess and should never be eaten. Fairies also hate baths. I like to turn my bathwater into strawberry jello. That would be fun. But I don't know how yet. You have to be a permanent fairy to do tricks like that. They go to advanced fairy school to learn how. I'm supposed to learn how to make clothes get up off the floor and dance around and line up in the closet. I'm not very good at that though. I'll probably be a temporary fairy forever. The end. And as you can see, I have my fairy crown on today. And you're going to be working on setting the scene. And of course, this is our fiction story, so fiction books are made up, imaginary, or pretend. And think about the setting of this book. You're going to write the response to the questions, and then you're going to draw the pictures to match. So the title of the book we read today is Alice the Fairy. Where does the story take place? And when does the story take place? So where does it take place and when does it take place? You can write your responses here. When is kind of tricky. It can be actually two things. And you can draw a little half line there and draw your two pictures on either side, because when it does take place in two different times. I'd love to see your answers. And if you ever have any questions, you can always email me or have mom and dad email me at lvrennis@moqschool.org. And everything's on the website if you need any help. I'll see you next week, boys and girls. Bye.